You're watching Let's Chat.
If you or someone you know is a Marine that served back in Desert Storm, especially with the 4th Battalion, 14th Marines, there's a special reunion coming up. Here to talk more about that, it is Colonel James D. Rogers. Colonel Rogers, good morning.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
First of all, thank you, sir, for your service.
You're most welcome. I wish I was 18, could start it all over again.
I have heard that from a lot of Marines. Tell us what it was like to serve in the Marine Corps, first of all, and then to get mobilized with the Mike Battery.
Service in the Marine Corps is one of the most rewarding things I have done in my life. It's challenging. Sometimes you've got to really bust your hump just to keep up. I was discharged from the Marine Corps the first time in '87, and shortly thereafter, I started drilling with Mike Battery. Some great group of Marines out of Chattanooga, Marines from Tennessee, North Georgia, North Alabama. I was an infantry officer originally, so it was a very tough spin-up time. Tell us what
role that Mike Battery played in Operation Desert Storm.
We were a self-propelled artillery battery. We had 6 155 millimeter howitzers. We were attached to 5th Battalion, 10th Marines of the 2nd Marine Division. At the time, 510 had 3 self-propelled batteries. There were 155 and 1 self-propelled battery that was 8-inch. In that role, we provide indirect fire support for ground combat elements of the 2nd Marine Division.
How were you all received once you got to Kuwait and after you had been there for a while and your presence was known? How were you received by the natives?
It was huge. They had just been liberated from an oppressive force. We heard all sorts of horror stories about how the Iraqi army had dealt with the Kuwaiti people, and abuse. It transcends cultures. And we were welcomed with open arms, and I think it showed a lot of the Marines that what we were doing was worthwhile.
And you all have a huge reunion coming up. Hopefully it'll be a huge reunion. Tell us about that. Who came up with this idea, and what can we do to help spread the word?
Well, we unfortunately lost one of our Marines in January, and following Lance Corporal Farlett's funeral, our CO, Ed McDaniel, and Frank Hughes and I went out for lunch, and we discussed the issue of having a 30th reunion. It was later occurred to us, apparently the city of Chattanooga is having some kind of reunion on the 28th day of August. Our reunion will be on the evening of the 27th at the Chattanooga Yacht Club. Those wonderful people are going to provide us with barbecue. We're reaching out to caterers about the rest of the fixings. Hampton Inn downtown is reserved a block of rooms for us. Unfortunately, our challenge right now is I reviewed the roster this morning, and we deployed with 106 Marines and only have 30 some odd right now on my email chain.
Well, I hope you have a capacity turnout for this huge event. Again, it's coming up on August 27th at the Chattanooga Yacht Club. We'll continue to talk about that between now and then. In the minute or two we have left, I wanted to ask you, is there any one specific operation that you and your Marines took part in that stands out in your mind?
Absolutely. It was the 24th day of February, 1991. We had just breached the minefield to get into Kuwait, and our howitzers were on the roll. We were on the move, and we got what artillerymen refer to as a hip shoot. That's when you're on the move. It's one thing to get a fire mission after you already have the battery in place, but a hip shoot requires you to very hastily in place the battery because there are Marines that need fire support right now. And I recall that on the afternoon of the 24th of February, Mike Battery did that. We performed, my Marines, I should say, performed in a superlative manner. And it was huge. Right about that time, we started visualizing, seeing Iraqi armor on the battlefield, just in time for the 2nd Marine Tank Battalion to show up, and they did some sharpshooting as well.
Wow. You guys certainly, you have earned the title of Marine, and unlike other members of the military, you are not soldiers, you are Marines.
Yes, sir.
Colonel Rogers, thank you so much. I hope we get the chance to talk here between now and the time of the reunion. Again, coming up at the Chattanooga Yacht Club, show your support for the military and the U.S. Marines. You can make your reservations on Facebook. And again, they're holding a block of rooms at the Hampton Inn. And again, we thank Colonel James D. Rogers of the United States Marine Corps for his service. Make sure and stick around. We have more of Let's Chat coming up right after this.